4 nailed on and perhaps a couple of places, or would you say Aberdeen would be in there?
I think this season more than any, it's really intriguing. I think what we do have is, other than, I mean, when you look at last season, you look at Hibs, who hadn't started the season particularly well. We've already got a Hibs side who are established. They had a David Graywood only just coming in and trying to embed his principles. I think now you've got that 4, so it makes it even more difficult. I think Aberdeen slightly different in that they haven't started the season so well. But I think the excitement this year is that we do have more sides who are going to be battling it out. I think it's a really difficult one to call. You've also got Dundee United, who last season were really strong in their first season back up, so you would expect them to go from strength to strength as well. And a Motherwell side who have started well in terms of how they've been playing. Yes, their end product this afternoon wasn't quite there. And a St Mirren side as well, who over the last few seasons have probably overachieved in terms of the size of the club, and they will want to continue that. So really difficult to call. I think when we talk about the top 4, I think they're all in a really good space. I think the 2 Edinburgh sides and the Old Firm, I think where they are at the moment, it would be really silly of you to think that they were going to drop out of the top 6. So for me, those 4 plus 2 more, and it will just depend on how things go with Aberdeen in terms of their recruitment over them from now until the end of the window.
Yeah, Willie's back with us now. Willie, we're just discussing the top 6, and one space I was suggesting perhaps up for grabs. Neil's not so sure. Julie's sharing the concerns around Aberdeen. You watched them that tough opener at Tynecastle on Monday night. The suggestion is they need a couple of players in.
Yeah, I can understand their concern, you know, and I share that concern as well. I don't think their preparation for the season has been particularly spectacular. It's been very low key, in fact, and I think that the toughest fixture, and I include Rangers and Celtic in this in Glasgow, that they could have picked would have been Hearts at Tynecastle as their opening game, and they didn't seem ready for it in the first half, and I don't think the squad is ready for it as yet for the season ahead. And the worrying thing is that they've got European competition. They're guaranteed European League football as well, so that's going to put pressure on them. So I do feel that the recruitment has still got to be up. They've lost a lot of players during you know, the close season, so they're still short. And in particular, I don't think they're too bad at the back in terms of options that Jimmy Talleen have and decent in midfield. The question now for me tomorrow afternoon is, does he stay with a 4? Does he go to a 5? You know, does he play the same formation that he played against Celtic in the cup final, which was very successful, or does he stick with his normal formation, which is 4? I think he's maybe got to mix it up a little bit. He's got plenty of central defenders that he can go to that shape, and I think he'll be tempted to do that. But I do feel that the squad needs strengthened, and I don't think that they were prepared well enough for that Hearts opening game at Tynecastle.
Could it be, sorry Kenny, could it be the challenge of trying to bring in players maybe from Sweden? I mean, Jimmy Talleen will know that market better than any. They're halfway through their season. So sometimes it can be a challenge to take players away from clubs who are competing in their own stage.
Yeah, it's been a few Aberdeen fans. There certainly seems a bit of frustration right now that the club's not doing enough, and it's always difficult recruiting late in the day. I'll go to the classifieds in just a minute, Bobby, but Willie's bringing up European football there. It feels right now we've had a great week in Europe for the Scottish clubs. We of course had the nominations for Ballon d'Or. Caroline Weir is in there, Scott McTominay's in there. It feels like we're in a good place right now.
I think a lot of people say Scottish football's probably not been in this good position for a decade or so. I think we need to take the positives of that. If we've got Caroline and Scott both competing at that level of recognition, we also need to think we could potentially have 5 clubs in the group stage of European competition.
Full time here.
Full time whistle. Let's just go to that now. Full time.
Yeah, full time here at Livingston. Livingston 3, Falkirk 1. Good performance in the end by Livingston.
Yeah, very, very good. We can see David Martindale celebrating with his staff there in the dugout. So we'll go through the classifieds for you in just a couple of minutes, just waiting on that full-time score come in. Callum just brought us that one there. We'll try and bring you managerial action as well before we leave you on television around about 25 5. But Julian, Neil, just briefly on this before we do the classifieds, it does feel like we're in a good place right now, and I think with also domestically there are a lot of stories. There are clubs in transition, there are new managers, there's new investment, there's a lot to look forward to, a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, I think the season started really well, and I think when you look at how it ended last year as well, I think what we want is more teams being able to compete for those top 6. We want more teams to be able to take points off each other. And I think already we've seen, yes, Rangers maybe not where they want to be, but they've already dropped points. Celtic were pushed really hard last weekend as well. So what we want is all of the teams to be able to compete and make sure that they can make a game of it when they're coming up against the Old Firm, and hopefully points can be spread across the season.
Talking about European football, Kenny, in terms of the teams that have fared, it's so pleasing because you take Partizan Belgrade and Rapid Vienna, they might not be at the top of the tree right now, but they've got a real European pedigree about them. It's not just minnows that these sides have knocked out, and so often our teams have gone out really early in European competition. But those 2 results, I think, are big results for Scotland. Rangers then doing the business during the week 3-0. Looks like they're going to progress to the next stage. So all in all, it's been a wonderful week for Scotland in European football.
The thing about that, Neil, is though last season and seasons before that, they bemoan the fact that they're in European football and it affects them domestically. They don't have good league campaigns, and that's where they've got to be able to match the ambition. Hearts look as though that they're working towards it, but are Hibs ready for it? Are Aberdeen ready for it? Is Dundee United ready for it if they do get into the league stages of Europe? So that's a big challenge for these clubs.
Yeah, listen, it certainly is, but we're all looking forward to the action next week. Full coverage right across the BBC of our teams in Europe. So let's run through the classified scores for you this afternoon. Of course, there are fixtures tomorrow. Speaking of Aberdeen, they are playing tomorrow. So in the top flight today, 2 games kicked off at 3 o'clock. Full-time scores: Livingston 3, Falkirk 1, St Mirren 0, Motherwell 0. 5:45 kick-off. Rangers at home to Dundee. We'll get the team news shortly and the full commentary to come on BBC Radio Scotland. 5:45 start there. So into the Scottish Championship this afternoon. Of course, one game was played last night. It finished Ross County 0, St Johnstone 1. Today, Ayr United 0, Wraith Rovers 1, Dunfermline Athletic 2, Airdrieonians 0, Partick Thistle 1, Morton 1, Queen's Park 1. Arbroath 3. A terrific result for the part-timers there away at Queen's Park. So into League One today, a full card for you, all kicking off at 3 o'clock. So the League One scores for you, the full-time scores: East Fife 0, Alloa Athletic 1, Inverness Cad Thistle 2, Peterhead 0, Montrose 1, Kelty Hearts 2, Queen of the South 1, Hamilton Accies 4, Stennismuir 1, Cove Rangers 0. And in League 2 this afternoon, again, a full card this afternoon. Not too many goals about, but we have to explain the weather conditions. Very difficult out there today. So Clyde 0, Forfar Athletic 0, Elgin City 0, East Kilbride 1, Spartans 1, Dumbarton 2, Stirling Albion 0, Annan Athletic 0, and Stranraer 1, Edinburgh City 2. So stay tuned, we'll bring you the team news from Ibrox ahead of that 5:45 start. That is Rangers at home to Dundee. We'll also bring you hopefully some reaction from some of the managers. So that game through at Livingston did finish very, very late. It's time now on Open On Mics for a fantastic guest. A legend of broadcasting is about to join us in the studio. Let's go. You always do. I always do. Listen,
you always do.
The best in the business. I've said that for a number of years. There is no contest there at all.
You're a very sound judge. Yep.
So talk to us. I've seen all the build-up all week. We'll all have seen it. Fantastic coverage. 50 years of sport team. There's a special programme tonight. Tell us what's happening. How are you feeling about it?
I'm actually very excited about it, Kenny. I mean, should I just point out that I haven't done all 50 years? I mean, I did 32, which wasn't a bad shift, and thinking, well, that was okay. I loved that. And now to be back in again and to be meeting some old pals that I haven't seen for a while. Now to see Jock Brown and Archie and Gordon Smith. So yeah, we're going to be talking about football tonight, just as we've always done, sitting talking football with your pals. Which
It's fantastic.
It is.
It's the best job. Is there one moment, Doogie, throughout all these years that stands out for you?
goodness, one moment.
One game, one programme?
No, there probably isn't one. I mean, the best cup final, I always say, was Motherwell Dundee United in 1991, which finished 4-3. That was a great game. Stevie Kirk's last-minute winning header. So that was special. But, I mean, you think the number of World Cups that I got to with Scotland in the days when we qualified for every World Cup, when those were special. The emergence of the new firm was hugely exciting, obviously. And particularly, I always say the kind of 80s, 90s was a golden age of not just Scottish football, but Scottish sport. Because you had the old firm emerging, you had Graham Souness arriving at Ibrox, you had Celtic winning the double in their centenary year, plus you had all the fantastic golf we had, fantastic, just every sport, Stephen Hendry emerging, Alan Wells winning Olympic gold,